All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Bill Gregg Open 1v1 tournament round of 16 matchup between our 8th seed Mor Champion and our 9th seed HellsRavage. I'm Chrono JJ. Along with me is my broken headset. Oh, this side. My broken headset over here. It's me alone, no Boit. And as you can see by the light behind me, it's actually a daytime stream. So as we go along and we have a few people come into the chat, it won't be the normal mature night stream viewers. I'll probably have, usually the day guys are a little bit more rambunctious, so we'll deal with that as we get along into it. But what we have for our matchup is going to be most likely Mor Champion's Oranos versus HellsRavage's Odin. Mor is pretty much a solo. He only ever plays Oranos in top 1v1 games, and Hells when he played Swissboy last round. He used a lot of Odin to solve the Swissboy Oranos mystery. So we'll see if he does it again against Mor, who's a little bit better than Swissboy. Looking at our maps, we've got really a handful of land maps and then one water map at the very end. And a bunch of, well, the first one, Frozen Waste, is very aggressive. Watering Hole is usually a little bit more defensive, boomy. Alfheim can be kind of aggressive, just depends how the cliffs and resources spawn, and Tundra is pretty aggressive. So got a couple aggressive maps, a couple less aggressive, and then Moat, if we get that far. But we are going to get into our game, or games today. Mor Champ versus HellsRavage. Oranos versus most likely Odin. And let us get over into the game and make sure everything looks good. Looks like it does. And we will get going. Okay, what are we looking at? BGO, round of 16. I've only got 3 wrecks here. There might be more. There might only be 3. Who knows? Oranos versus Oranos in game 1 on Frozen Waste. Well, interesting. I did not think I would see HellsRavage going Oranos here. So who are we looking at down at the bottom is Mor Champion, our red player, in Oranos. And on the top is HellsRavage, also Oranos. So Oranos v Oranos mirror on Frozen Wastes. I'm guessing he didn't go Odin because of how aggressive this map is, and maybe was concerned he wouldn't be able to get enough Olsarks out before the pressure came upon him. So Oranos v Oranos, and I'd really give the edge in this to Mor, who's played really a lot more Oranos than Hells. Though Hells has some decent Oranos, but we shall see. They both are opening with pretty much the same build. Eco Guild into Hunting Dogs. So probably will be the only decision they might make would be whether it be a 4-minute advance or a 4:30 advance. Minus 20% siege cost. That's okay. I don't know. We probably would see both of them do 4:30 is my guess, but we shall find out. Frozen Waste is one of the kind of newer maps that didn't originally ship with. Look how bad this. Wow, I have to interrupt because this villager missed this caribou from here. It's shot right there. That's terrible. But I don't know. It's the small things that distract me in life. But yeah, this is not a game map that shipped with the game. It came out in like 2016, 2017 or so. So it's been around for a few years. And as we take the Fog of War off, you can see that it's kind of like Midgard, only frozen. And instead of fish on the outside, it's goats standing around on the ice. And then you've got your gold mines that are only scattered around the edge of the map. You've got every player will have some hunt spawns, and then some walrus will spawn towards the middle. Generally, is how it goes. So it's a pretty aggressive map given how the gold mines lay out. And we did have the map variety where it gets you. This might actually, you know what? No, I drawn a blank. Is it like this every time where you get 2 gold mines in your base? I can't remember. Mor is sending a lot of his villies actually out 3 forward because he's probably going to jump onto these walrus next. And Hells is having to come walk a little bit further, come to these elk over here. And, oh, okay, there you go. Say you might as well get right on the next walrus. So, generally you'll see Murmillo, Terma combination for Oranos. That's pretty standard. Got not a whole lot going on. It's Atlantean Archaic Age. But it's a good thing I have. My wife made me a smoothie, so I can drink a smoothie and kind of get through this boring stage of the game. I'll try not to slurp in your ears. Okay, so yeah, Mor is definitely going with a 430, and it looks like Hells is as well. Oh, I got something loading on my other computer over here. Actually, it's not a computer, it's Chromebook. So yeah, we've got 7% up, and okay, yeah, they're pretty much the same age up. What's this other relic? Arrows of the Alfheim improves 20% building pierce damage. Probably won't matter in this match, but can be useful. Mor is really throwing all of his villies up forward here. He's got, yeah, still getting on these walrus, and then will he transition down to these elk after? Ooh, looks like Mor is kind of prepping for a HellsRavage Oracle Rush, which looks like that might be what Hells is going to do. He shouldn't, because... Hello, TV Box. He shouldn't, because if he does it, Mor will do it, and Mor will also get the benefit of a hero villager, which is actually pretty nice, because hero villagers gather about 10% faster, and they're stronger and all that crap. So, really shouldn't be using Valor here, and he will, and Hells responds with his own Valor, and that just fights it off right away. And he will not be able to do anything beyond that. Maybe just a little bit of random harass, but it's not going to be able to kill anything. I mean, these vills got a ton of HP, so what does it matter? If you don't know this, you can hold Alt and push S, and that makes like villagers like ignore attack. Like normally if you attack a villager, it'll run away. If you hit Alt plus S, it puts them in, I think, either passive or stand ground mode, and so then they'll just sit and happily gather despite being attacked. And we do see barracks, counter barracks for Mor, and then barracks, counter barracks for Hells, and another counter barracks. So 3 military buildings for Hells. I would doubt he'd be able to continue production from 3. This extra counter barracks is a little bit unnecessary, I would say, because it's not, I mean, it's still not, what kind of eco is that? Yeah, he's not going to be able to make 2 now. Well, now he is for now, but it's not going to be able to keep up production from 3 buildings, I don't feel like. Not for long, anyway. I mean, he's housed right now, too. And we got a little raid coming in on his berries. And could actually come up here and get these idle as well. Usually the name of the game here is who can get pushed off of Hunt. And Hells is trying to wall, but didn't. And we see just these 4 units. I mean, they're not going to kill anything. But just a little bit of idle time that they force is pretty helpful. When you consider it. I mean, each vill is about worth 3, so 3 normal vills, so you know that's 6 vills essentially that had to move over here. And now we have a fight down here, but this is not going to be a good fight for Hells. He should run away. These vills tank a lot of damage. When we saw Gold Lion versus Skady, Gold Lion chose to have a big fight right next to some vills. He killed a few vills, but lost his army in that time. And that was kind of what decided that game. So just because the villies are here doesn't really mean you want to fight on top of it, because you may kill a vill at the expense of a lot of army. So might see some shockwaves come down quick here. No shockwaves. Valor, there's a shockwave. There's a responding shockwave. Does kill a vill. And Valor, yeah, Valor's shockwaves coming in. But looks like it's going Mor's way as far as the fight. Just needs to kind of micro his hero Terma here a little bit. Just this one hero Terma just keeps shooting at this Murmillo. And Yeah, overall it's a pretty even fight, but in the end, Mor won and took better kills there. So the question is, will the killing of that one Villy be worth it? And probably at the kill-death ratio that we ended up seeing there, with Mor coming up decently ahead. I mean, if he's able to keep up the pressure now and move forward, it definitely won't be worth it. And actually on the back end, these four units have caused these citizens to be idle for, I missed it, but they've probably been idle for maybe 30 seconds or so. So Hells is up. Well, he's not even up a villager because he's been idle for a while. Well, Melmars is idle too, so I guess it's even. This time, should I? Normally. This is a day off, Invert. I can't work not every day, now can I? You know, I gotta give the bad guys a chance to get something accomplished. Alright, a little bit of a raid here, nothing doing. Mor will kind of turn aside. Looking at pop, 78 to 82, so pretty similar. Pretty similar eco amounts as well. You can maybe look at the kill-loss ratio. We can see that in that fight, Mor did take 7, he killed 7 more units than Hells. And we also have that Mor is still hunting, which is considerably faster than berries. So, okay, this is a big raid, but I mean, what really is it going to accomplish? Do we have medium Vermillo? No. Yeah, they do. So medium Vermillo for Mor Champion. And this Villy here has been idle. Now we see that he's added his 3rd military building. 2nd counter barracks. Valor used in the base. These units, I think, were maybe anticipating Hells' raid. I think they saw them maybe come this way and now think they're coming down here. When in fact, Hells does not know this, but this is wide open right now. But of course he has no idea, because Mor is coming down here anticipating a raid on this corner. And instead we've got all these, you probably wouldn't kill any, but it would at least make them idle for a time. Looking at pop, 111. Mor is now behind in pop. He does have, well, that's because he stopped making units and is actually opting to build a town center. So for the time, Mor will be behind in military. Like, this is actually Hells' opportunity to attack, and he's coming down here. Mor notices right away. Some idleville time, but shouldn't be anything else. Yeah, garrison all the villies. This will give more time to build the town center. And actually, really good job by Mor. You'll see this a lot of times where when a player gets raided, he sends his entire army back to raid, and instead, Mor is doing what you're kind of supposed to do, is kind of split. Now he's reacting to this army, and in fact, he's actually not even, he's just ignoring this army for now, because he knows there's really not much damage they can do, realistically. And no, Hells is going to scout this, but it's going to be, I think, too late. Because by the time this army gets here, I believe this will be built. Yeah. So Hells will be kind of behind. Ooh, if he gets a surround here, this could be huge. Oh, he kind of overshot the Vills, but this is still a great spot. Do we have Shockwave? No Shockwaves. Oh, Hells could have done this so much better, though, as far as the surround. Like, he overshot them. He could have surrounded them there, and he might still kill a Villy. He should really separate his Terma. He might still kill another Villy. Definitely this one. For sure, and then just run away. And that's a nice pick-off. 2 Vills, probably, if he would have optimally done it, maybe 3. Is there a possibility his mass will appear on EE? I'm not sure. The problem is on EE, look at this though. Hells does not want to lose this almost dead Vill. The problem with EE is that everything there is governed by, ooh, this Vill's gonna go down. Oh, I don't even, yeah. Hell's a little slow to react here, and he's not careful. Okay, I'm gonna say he might lose another one. Oh, this town center is getting built, and Elzo, don't let him get surrounded. Oh no. Oh. Okay. Okay. Mor has got the advantage now. He is at 122, 130 pop. And don't lose this citizen. One more shot. Oh, so close. Oh, so Mor does respond and takes 2 citizens back. Along with having the town center out earlier is also good. And so now Mor will start. Looks like he's going to start flooding in his Prometheans. Yeah. Which can be very hard to deal with once Atlantean runs out of the Valors. Hells has already used all of his Valors, and losing another hero here, and he will have a hard time with all of these Prometheans. Hells himself only has just 2, and Mor has another Valor that he just used. Mor's just scouted this town center. Should get up. So far, actually, a pretty close game. Hells really losing these 2 citizens from Hells was really careless. Really should not have happened. Mor's wasn't necessarily careless. I mean, he's still pretty close to his base. Should probably have like maybe deleted a mana and put it over here. But anyway, James, I'll try to answer while there's some time. Is there a possibility? I mean, there always is. The difficulty is with the extended edition is that any change has to kind of be approved through the whichever team manages the extended edition. So trying to get like these maps entered into the random map pool, I don't know. It's obviously harder than getting it in on Voobly. So I would think it would be less likely, not impossible, but not very likely. What are we doing here? We kind of got both players. Mor's eco kind of arrangement is a little bit off, but is aging up Thea. And Hells is actually not close to aging up, which is kind of interesting. I think it's mainly just, I don't even have hand axe, why bother? I think it's mainly just the hunting difference here, and Hells needs to be careful. I mean, he's got a large army here, but he's gonna have a ton of idle villies in his base for the time being, and Mor is up Thea. I think Hells is gonna try to get in on this town center maybe. But needs to be careful with all these villies here. And, oh, gets us around on a... Oh, that one, the hero escaped. Oh, that's too bad. So Hells is actually not going to get much value out of this push. We'll deal with the Prometheans for now. But Hells loses, I think that was 3 citizens here. I think this is 2, maybe? Maybe it's just 1. Too fast with the follow, thank you, thank you. Only 1 hero Terma for this bird, but it's this bird versus everything. And Hells, oh, I was going to say, Hells' kind of chance to win now that he's behind age is to stop this going up. He does have a shockwave. I was going to say should shockwave the citizens, but I still think it's a little too late. We'll kill 1. The fortress is up. Mor does, I think, still have, yeah, Mor has a ton of gold in his bank. So this gold starve isn't necessarily super important because he's got 1,000 to play with as far as gold. And why not cast with Boit? Well, Boit's, I think this is sleeping time for Boit. And yeah, we see that Hells is now falling back. And he just resigns. So a little bit, might think a little bit unusual resign, but Hells was just way behind on eco. We can look at his eco. I mean, he's not even close to aging up. And he's pretty much the same res and everything. And he was just a little bit behind grabbing the town center. And then what raids he did get, Mor answered back. And Mor was able to hunt for longer than Hells too, which Mor ended up hunting all 6 walrus, and Hells had to transition so much sooner. In fact, Mor hasn't even made a single, he's just made 1 farm at this point, and Hells, meanwhile, has got 8 farms, so he spent 600 more resources on that. So if we look in the post game, we should see Mor ahead. Yeah, quite a bit actually, towards the very end of the game there. Kill loss ratio is somewhat even. But in the end, Mor just kind of elevated his eco count there, and that was about the time when he got his second town center, started boosting up the vills. Hells lost. This is lost a couple vills here. Lost another vill. So Hells was at the end of the game eight villies down, which is 24 essentially. So let us update our scorecard here real quick. Mor picks off the first game in a surprising Oranos mirror. So let's get to our little overlay here and put in our gods. Let's see. I had Oranos and Odin preloaded, ready to go. So I did not expect Hells to go Oranos, but with Frozen Waste, that's a bit of a rough map, I suppose, if you're going to do Odin. So that's game 1. And now game 2 will be Watering Hole. I sure hope we don't see more Oranos via Oranos, because I don't know. I don't find the Oranos via Oranos super enjoyable, and there's been a handful of those Oranos via Oranos games that we've already watched in this tournament, so hopefully Hells will turn off of it. But yeah, Watering Hole next, then Alfheim will be at least the guaranteed maps, and Prost, yes, thank you. So let's move on. Hells 0, Mor 1. And let's get going into game number 2. Mor versus Hells. Odin, there we go. Get our Odin play in. So down on the bottom is our Odin player. Will he use Great Hunt on this initial? Looks like he might, because he's bringing the piggies in. Yep, there's Great Hunt. Like all those extra gazelle for Hells down on the bottom in the blue. And then Mor is up on the top in the red, and is Oranos again. Getting hunting dogs right away, because why not? And then Hells also getting hunting dogs, because why not? And it's Watering Hole, which, while a land map, does run completely different than Frozen Wastes. It's much more of a defensive style land map with safe hunt. You'll always get like a pack of hippo somewhere close to your base. You'll always get a back pack of like either gazelle or zebra, back/side, and then generally there'll be like an elephant spawn somewhere on your kind of little edge of the map, land, I suppose, or whatever you want to call it. And then of course there'll be a bunch of hunt in the middle, and we're seeing four rhino right outside of Mor's base, but I don't know, that'd be risky to go for it. So what you see, or will see, in Oranos v Odin, again, this will be kind of more of the same from when Hells played Swissboy's Oranos, is that you'll see a good amount of Ulsark early on, kind of a semi-quick, heroic, with Frost, get Frost Giant and then also Frost, and then probably around that time somewhere grabbing a second town center, and then just trying to keep the pressure up, which Odin can as long as Odin doesn't take early losses, and then generally win early Mythic with kind of a semi-quick, like 2 town center reg is kind of the general idea, I suppose you could say, between the Odin into the Oranos here. The Oranos does have, I mean, Oranos has a lot of good matchups. I'd say Oranos via Odin is maybe one of Oranos' not quite so good, but still winnable. Though if you ask Oranos, it's not winnable. But, you know, anytime you ask a player of a god and they lose to another god, it can't be because they got outplayed or they played worst. It's either a bad map, B, bad matchup, C, imbalance, D, my fault. I mean, you know, whatever. Such is life. But we'll see. Most Oranos tend to go Thea with the birds, Stymphalian birds and dryads. I'm not really so sure that that's a great idea anymore. It might be better to go Hyperion. Chaos is such a good god power, and even the Satyr. I mean, Satyr absolutely smoke Ulfsarks. And you would assume there'd be a lot of Ulfsarks. We do see Hells with a very forward, I mean, you wouldn't really call it very forward, I guess, normally, or maybe you would, but generally you'd see your Odin building, you know, in the base, because you lose your forward buildings, and then it's kind of, you know, lights out for you as an Odin player. So kind of unusual to see the very forward temple. Like, Hells is assuming he'll be able to keep up the pressure Gets his Raven spawn at the building as soon as the temple completes, and we'll go scouting. Let's see what Hells is scouted. Pretty much nothing. And actually, this was a change that was introduced at some point in the balance patch, where originally you got your Ravens upon reaching classical age, which generally didn't really help a whole lot, because you kind of would like to know where to attack as soon as you reach classical age and not have to wait for the birds to come out. So changing the birds to as soon as the temple gets made is actually a decent boost. Just in early map knowledge, gets you to know where resources are, and then your Ravens can be in the enemy base in time to kind of see what their strategy is going to be. So Hells is going to be up. I can't, this is in the way. Hells will be up, he's about 78% up, so yeah, just a little bit before 430. Mors looks like he's going for the 430 as well. Got this one relic that does Arrows of the Alfheim. It's, hey, that was in the last game. These relics are broken. Yo, what's up, Neurological Synapse? Got a lot of those going on this stream. This is a very deep thinking stream going around here. Here comes an Ulsark early in for just a little bit of a pressure. This is, yes, from the round of 16. So we're kind of, as far as my streaming, I'm going to catch up and do a handful of round of 16 matchups this weekend to catch up to the round of 8. You know, more so for the idle citizen here. There you go. More so for the people who watch later on YouTube, who do enjoy these matches. And the Ulfsark kind of took a round through here, took a few swings. The Valk comes in, and more likes this double Murmillo strat. He thinks he's very awesome in that he's used it. Forest Fire here. This does actually open up the base quite a bit. And really looking at Mor's base, the trees for him are not quite so generous this game. This is really his only tree line left, and is taking quite a bit of damage here on this Valkyrie. And really the early age up from Hells is actually benefiting pretty well. We'll see a Valor coming in. There it is. Gets this one here. Mor will really want to get in on this hunt, and we see our few Hearse here to deal with the Promethean, which we've only got, where is the Promethean? 1. Otherwise a lot of Ulsarks. And yeah, Mor likes this double Murmillo thing, but it takes a lot of hunt to be able to do it. And actually right now, both of his barracks are idle because he doesn't have much food. And the armies currently as is, Hells would win this fight. We do have a Shockwave to kind of help out. Well, watch out though, you don't want your Valk just strolling past the Murmillo. Okay, well, he's just gonna run. Hells got a lot of idle army that he needs to send up here. Oh, come on. He's probably waiting to get Lone Wanderer in to make his Ulsarks run faster, and loses an Ulsark. This isn't kind of what you want to do until you get Lone Wanderer in. You don't really want to do raids against like enemy Murmillo, because they can pick off your Ulsarks. Say your name, David Valadres. I said it, and probably said it very incorrectly, but I said it, so you're famous now. You can call home to mom. Do we have Lone Wanderer in now? Yes, we do. So now he has Lone Wanderer. Lost one Ulsark. The rest will heal up eventually, courtesy of the regen. But this, a very early town center from Mor. Here's his elephant right here too, that I was kind of mentioning at the beginning. Meanwhile, because Hells is on the aggression, he will be able to hunt. He should go to this hunt next. A lot more hunt there than back here. And Hells is going to come forward and try to get a raid on this. Hells does know about the town center. Mr. David. He does. And, this Villy is... There's no manor here. There should be a manor here to garrison his vills. This is... Okay. Hells is... Where's... Oh, Mor's army. All of his hero Murmillo are forward. So he's going to have a hard time dealing with his Valk. And no manor to hide the Villies in. Get the Hearse here in on the Prometheans. You're wandering right past the Prometheans. And here comes the kind of the panic manner that's too late. We got the hero Murmillo coming in. Seen one Vill, two Vills down. And this is disaster for Mor. Oh, three, fourth. Oh, music to my ears. Yes, and Hells is cleaning this up. The hero Murmillo in the wrong spot, no manner, and it is disastrous, and a very optimistic town center attempt here, and really just a mistake like that can kind of just call it GG at this point, because he lost 4 citizens, not getting the town center up, and it's not close to having the military edge, so that was a disaster attempted town center grab there. And really, I don't quite understand it. I mean, he knew Hells knew because this Raven. So, really, I would say it's kind of a small chance of working. And we're getting the Chiro Ballista getting surrounded here. That's a ton of resources. So it's over 200 to Ballista. And yes, Solstair, you're right. I was busy the last few days, so I got a little opportunity to do a rare daytime stream, so I'll catch up on some of these Vills. And I'm not a quitter, but if I were Mort, I would be quitting here and moving on to the next game because this isn't going anywhere. 100 pop to 51. I mean, and yeah, there's just a few things here. I mean, I understand Mort's play as he's trying to sneak into town center. To get an eco advantage, but even like here's my kind of issue with this is even if he grabs this town center, he's not going to have the access to food that he would need to even produce villies and an army at the same time. Like, so kind of a low value. He's building, he's trying to wall up and around these rhino. Which of course Hells has vision of. So at this point, more maybe just trolling a little bit. The high rank Voobly players are definitely much better. Yeah, it's not working. It's cute, but it's scouted, and I think it's more just kind of trolling at this point. But yeah, the high ranked players on Extended Edition are not nearly as good as the high ranking Voobly players, though there are some good players on Extended Edition, and I don't want to be one of those, you know, kind of Voobly or nothing kind of guys, because there's a little bit of kind of unhealthy, I guess, civil war between the two factions, which really doesn't need to exist. This wall. Does have some Chiro here, but Chiro trying to get in on these old Sarks, and again, we have the kind of the same issue we saw earlier, is there's no manor down here, so how are these villies going to survive? Well, hint, they won't. But most of the top extended players will, from time to time, play on the Voobly. Not too often, but sometimes they do. And that is GG, just like that, once this box gets spelled out. Skady isn't an EE player, though. Skady is a Voobly player who plays on EE. Oh, did he use the instant gate bug? Yeah, it's not a fan of it, but it's not been declared a cheat. I would say if it were a if AOM were a true competitive scene, something like that wouldn't be allowed, because it's definitely, I mean, whenever you talk about, so instant gate, so if you set up a hotkey for a long gate, and then set up a hotkey for, or not a long gate, a long wall segment, and then set up a hotkey for a gate, you can turn a partially built wall segment, like this one, into a gate before it's completed, which you shouldn't be able to do, because, I mean, you can't hit the gate hot button on the gate until the wall's finished. But if you have it set as a hotkey, even if it's like 20% built, you can just turn it to an operating gate. So it's obviously an exploit. Obviously not intended. You know, if this were a true competitive scene, that wouldn't be allowed. It would be considered cheating. I think that's pretty obvious, but it hasn't ever been declared that, like, say, Hunt Delete is, I mean, even Hunt Delete is kind of less of an exploit than even this, but it's been declared cheating. Yeah, but that exploit of selecting Tower of the Granary and Hunting Dogs really doesn't help, though, because it doesn't start researching until your granary's done, so it really doesn't do anything other than it's just kind of cute. But that was game number 2, and really, as we saw, it was just this big attack here. It was one of those things. Yeah, and you're right. Some of the people don't like the extended edition, well, mainly because it's pretty buggy, or it was. It's getting better now, but it's still, we got some issues with it. But let's update our little scorecard here. And we've got Mor Champion as Oranos again, and then I preloaded Odin, assuming we would see some Odin, so we can move Odin to the top. And Hells gets game number 2, knotted up 1-1. I think there was... Yeah, no one likes the Chinese edition just because it was kind of a low quality. I mean, you can tell, comparing the Chinese, even culture as a whole, and just like the production quality, not nearly what AOM was. But some people like it, and if they like it, you know, that's fine. I mean, anything new is kind of cool, but I guess, you know, quantity over quality, is it really worth it? Nobody really knows. People argue about it. Whether is there any other questions? Skady is an EE player. Yeah, no, he was a Voobly player. He's been on Voobly a long time. He just plays on EE. But nice hat. Yeah, my head, I've got very poor circulation. And even when I'm in the house, my head gets cold, my hands get cold, my feet get cold. So normally I'm wearing a hoodie around the house, and today I just went for the hat with the still broken headset. I'm gonna have to retape this. The kids have kind of done a number on it. But anyway, at least we know this will not be a 3-game sweep, and we will move on to game number 4. Nice to have a few more people in the chat. Somebody wants to, oh, David wants to be my priest. Well, okay. Let's update the scorecard here, 1-1, and we will move on to game number 3, which is Alfheim, I think. Post game, you can kind of see the disaster was this fight, the civilian count, disastrous. Whew. Yeah, EE is definitely much more streamlined, and probably is slightly more active, but there's just some lag issues and stuff that make it hard to have a true competitive scene on it, even though it's getting better. With the last couple patches, seems like they fixed it. But even like people like me with decent computers, I can't play on it without lagging. So I don't play on it. But we will move on. That can be an argument for a long time. You know, both have their pros, both have their cons. But we will move on to Mor versus Hells. Number 3, Odin versus Oranos again, now on Alfheim, and oh, we have the high Alfheim spawn, so that is very nice for Hells. The high Alfheim spawn, which is so cool. So, in the Alfheim script, it's kind of funny. There is I believe it is a 10% chance that you get like 6 base hunt spawns that are about 3 to 5 elk, something like that, and we've got that. So Hell scored big with the 10% chance of like endless hunt that Odin loves, because Odin loves hunt. So I always like it when this spawn comes up, because it's so cheese in a way. Just like there's no other map script that has something like this. Hello, Hells. Please keep spoilers in the chat. This is, you know, a good pleasure for the YouTubers who like to watch later and never catch the Twitch streams live. But yeah, I love the Alfheim spawn with the 6 base pack. It's just so funny, and you still get just as much hunt or just as little potentially in the center. And actually, we're seeing the 3 deer spawn, which is really pathetic compared to what it could be. But we do have the 3 Aurochs spawn, which is very nice to see if you're a hunting god. Though the 3 Aurochs, Hells could just throw down a wall here and get access to it. But yeah, I like Alfheim. Alfheim's a fun map. I guess growing up, the reason I always liked Alfheim was just because I had more relics, and I always thought relics were cool. We've got Harmonious Necklace, that's a solid relic, faster gold gathering. We've got a Black Lotus, faster farm. Thundercloud Shaw, Pierce vulnerability, that's helpful for the Odin for sure. It's a 5% less Pierce vulnerability. And we have one more one more relic somewhere, but we don't see it. So, Hells, what is your opinion if you're still in the chat? What do you think of the High Hunt Alfheim spawn? And I guess if you're there, would you say it benefits the Odin more or benefits the Atlantean more? Because then the Atlantean does theoretically, will probably be defensive. It does get him more access to hunt. But I feel like all of this hunt that Odin can hunt from so long is, with that extra 20% that Odin gets, kind of overrides any benefit it gives to the Atlantean. That's my opinion. May or may not be correct, but everybody has opinions. Who is anyone to say if they're correct or incorrect? Any chance if you can up the bit rate a bit? This is the way it is all the time, and you're the first person to say it's fuzzy. So, yeah, Odin is 20%. You didn't know that? Here, look. Let me make sure. Odin, yes, 20% villager gather. No, it's 20. It's not 10. It's 20. Just like Pig Sticker is 20%. It might be 10% on vanilla, and maybe they buffed it on Titans. It's nothing that the balance patch changed. So, I'm not sure about that. I don't know if it was, yeah, it is 20. Okay, yeah, sure you mean 20. Yeah, okay, sure, yeah. It's 20%, my man. It is 20%. I've looked it up before because there was questions, and it is 20. Pig Sticker is also 20, and it has been that way for both since the start of AOM. I don't know why Mor went down to this bottom hunt here. Because there's nothing really to transition to as far as hunt. Yeah, they're both 20. Okay, so maybe he'll end up just changing these guys to hunt, and these will go to the forest. Well, that makes sense. He is up 63%, so he's going up for a slightly faster age up this game, is Mor Champion. Hells is now building defensive this game. No big forward temple build, which worked out for him last game. Maybe building a little bit more defensive because of all the hunt that he has in his base. It's not like he really needs to grab control. So, okay, yeah, yep, okay. Yeah, the spawn, you're right. And Oranos, yeah, with the choke points, you're right. And the thing with choke points, though, is it takes intellectual fighting. And I see you getting it. You did this the last game, too, was just a little bit of pressure with the one initial Ulfsark, just to annoy Mor a little bit. And now you're going to run back. So the big key is, I didn't really touch on it, I kind of mentioned the Lone Wanderer. What makes the Lone Wanderer so important is that the technology is Odin's special tech. It gives Ulfsarks 10% movement speed. And the reason that's good is because that gets the Ulfsark over the 5 speed limit, and 5 speed is what allows, well, more than 5 is what allows units to avoid archer fire, because most units have what's called a track rating of 5, which allows them to hit units moving at a speed of 5 and lower. As soon as the Ulfsark gets that technology, they can dodge arrow fire as long as they're moving at full velocity. Yes, the extra hunting tech is also in Vubli. That was original with the game, and I believe it does the same thing. I don't know if they changed that, though. And this random Promethean is just going to get whacked down by this Herseer. Cert Wave Skinner. I've seen some better names for Herseer. One thing I always kind of wanted to do. Yeah, priests have 6, and you're right, most Greeks, I think, have 6 as well, so they can't dodge those. But those are the exceptions to the ranged rule. You are correct. So a little bit of a... Yeah, then that first game, you're right, Hells. The first game, Mor was way... I mean, he didn't have a manor with his villies, which by that town center, which was huge. I mean, he lost 4 citizens for really no reason. I really shouldn't have been grabbing that town center anyway. But we will see. Is it possible to pick off a Valk with a Shockwave and 3 heroes? Probably not. I don't think so, unless you can get the Valk like surrounded into like a forest. I don't think so. So Hells is waiting to get his Lone Wanderer. You really don't want to get your Ulfsarks caught out before you get Lone Wanderer, because then they can really get whacked. We see last game Mors went with double military barracks. This game it's with barracks, counter barracks, so that's why we see the Terma. As Hells mentioned in the chat, this is a little bit, Spore Oracle, a little bit better of a map for Oranos because of these choke points that you tend to get like in between forests and cliffs, and you got some more here which kind of prevent the Ulfsark from doing surrounds. And does Hells have Lone Wanderer yet? Is he researching? He is researching it. And it's not quite in yet. Is it in now? It is. Yes, it is in now. So this Ulfsark will be able to run. Hells is getting, or Mor is getting his forward manner here. There we go. Hells still happily hunting. And then I wonder if we'll see Hells put up a gate or a wall here. I'd like to see him wall this up. And oh, the raid here. Hells does not know it's coming. And Mor could do some damage if how soon Hells notices. And Hells does notice pretty well. We'll kill probably 2 Vills and an Ulfsark. So that's pretty good, and it does force Hells to come back. And Hells is coming back with some Ulfs. And is still trying to get a little bit of a raid on, though he'll probably get pushed off for now. And Mor is not following. Now he is. Now he's not. Got a kind of a dilemma here. What does Mor do? Does he continue to attack, or does he defend? He was kind of caught in the middle there for a little bit. Now we're gonna have a fight, maybe right here in the middle, and okay, a little bit of a dance here. Trying to get a surround in maybe with some Ulfs. Hells would win this fight if he can get a good spot for it, and I think Mor agrees with that. So Mor is running, but Mor's army is now kind of split up on the wrong side. And Hells is sending back his slower 3 Hersier, and will come in on this the Villies down here. And because Hells is over here, or Mor's over here, Hells can kind of push on this. Watch out for this Vill though. Oh, this Vill should not die. No. Oh. Zips into the manor just in time with that nonsensical garrison range. But still, idle Vills. That's 3 of them that are idle. Lost a couple Ulfsarks down on the bottom, though. Hells at 86 pop. Mor does have more pop, but you see he's kind of having to play defensive right now. And getting a little bit of damage in on that Terma. Nothing too crazy. Mor's going to have to be really careful, though, with this villager. His low hit points. And Hells does still have Forest Fire. I keep calling him Mors. Mor is Shockwave. And medium Murmillo. Starting to run out of hunt. Hells still has decent hunt. Eco, how we looking here? Hells 96. So we aging? Nobody aging. No techs. And Hells really wants in on this, but I don't think he can really take this fight now. Just wants to be, because we have Shockwave that's just so strong. But we might be able to. No, not quite. I wonder if he could like sneak one Ulfsark over and kill this while Mor is busy. He might be able to. Yeah, you're correct. Not all classical age powers are created equally. I mean, that's kind of the way the game is. You know, every god kind of has their power spikes. Norse's power spike is kind of more so of the heroic age. I mean, let's take a look at the heroic age god powers. I mean, you got Forest Fire, or not Forest Fire, you got Flaming Weapons and Frost, which are 2 of the best in the game. Whereas, well, with the patch, I guess they've gotten a little bit better for Oranos, but a little bit of touch and go here. Mor needs to be careful with his units, and Mor's just like not fighting when he shoots. Okay, I was gonna say you might see kind of a pathing Forest Fire here. Okay, the Vill is still alive. I feel like if Mor were managing this fight a little bit better, he could be doing more damage. Like, he's not turning to fight enough. And oh, there it goes. He got it. He got the Villy. But this is some good pressure, at least. Even though there's, you know, Hells is so... Oh, wow, look at these Murmillo just strolling past the burning fire. Oh, watch out for your throwing axemen, though. Oh, come on, get him back, get him back. And Mor is really holding on to his Shockwave as well. Mor grabbing a second town center in the back end. so far really hasn't taken a ton of damage. One Villy dead. But as Atlantean, you need to take the advantage. Like, because if you're just even all game, then the Ragnarok pounds you late game. And now come the oh, come on, will he notice? He being either player. Well, oh, come on, no. Okay. And yeah, see, again, you can't have your Villies like this. These fat, out of shape, shockwave used, but doesn't quite get all of them. And that's probably going to be 2 dead citizens. And that kind of thing should not happen. I just got a path block a little bit. Oh, one gets away. But yeah, you shouldn't. This is Hells mentioned about how Mor tends to be a little bit careless with the citizens. And that's an example. I mean, there's no reason they should be like that. And here comes another Villy that's just out in the middle of nowhere. And Hells can kill this one without taking much damage to his ults. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There you go. And now just run away. And meanwhile, Hells is winning this fight too. That's a couple Villies dead that Mor really shouldn't be losing. And you just base it on where are his manners. Like, as Atlantean, Meteor has its use, but it is not the greatest, I would agree. But what Thoth also does is some really good god powers, though. But yeah, Reg is awesome. So anyway, when it comes to Atlantean, you've got your manners. You need to place your manners intelligently. And we've gotten like this manner, which now is kind of pointless. And even this one too, because why do you need 2 up here? So really, even if it kind of sucks deleting a manor, I suppose, because, you know, that's 95 resources. But if it saves a villager, you save resources within like 30 seconds. So it's definitely worth it. And here comes a counter raid by Mor here. And should be able to pick off a handful of Villies, actually. This is a good catch by Mor. Not only is it the Hunt Vills, it's also the Gold Vills. That does hurt. That's a good kind of a counter raid there by Mor. And we've got a little bit of fights here. Hell's got a... Oh, these Kiro Ballista, though. Oh, come on, Hells. You should have surrounded those. And instead, he's going for the Villies. Okay, well, the Valk will handle this. And Hells' army is actually kind of superior here. And again, we've got trying to panic build this manor, which looks like it will come up. But this Valk will probably take out both of these Kiro Ballista. That's what you make the Valk for. Okay, now she's running. Another Valk. So Hells has made a few extra Valks. I would say it's grim for Mor, but it's reaching the point where you can't really win a full pop fight. What are they both? 130 and 116. Mor is actually below in military pop for some reason. And he's got a retreat, which is going to not look good. And it might be, again, where we have kind of a greedy settlement grab that will kind of cost him. In my opinion, as Atlantean, in like a situation like this, you really shouldn't be grabbing another town center until you're going to be at full pop. And now he is at full pop, I guess, but... Oh, watch out for the citizens up here. I'm watching... Ooh, he does lose that citizen. Mor wasn't paying attention. Now he's kind of getting... lambasted down here. I like that word. Can't really deal with the Valks. We just tank so much damage. And the Ulsarks too are getting in pretty well. And hell, this isn't the location that an Atlantean wants to be fighting in, just in the wide open. I think Mor will fight this off. But at kind of lost another citizen. So Mor lost 2 citizens right next to that manor. To the point where even though he kind of won this battle, it really doesn't matter for now because he doesn't have any more citizens up here. So now he's got to run more citizens. Nice wall here by Hells to wall this off. And Mor is building a wall on the back end. And will Hells get down here in time? He's trying to. He's got just this little bit left. Oh, come on. There's just this one hole. Oh, just in time. Oh, that's too bad. Both players not close to aging up, and are not close to full pop either. So this game is going to have a little bit more of an extended classical age than what you normally see. And hello, Air Trees. Again, I don't think it's GG. Are you saying GG more wins or GG more loses? Because it's still pretty close. Even though Mor has taken some bad fight, or not bad fights, Mor has taken some bad citizen losses. Which, like, really, if he hadn't taken all those citizen losses, so far what we've seen, like 4 that have kind of shouldn't have died, Mor would be in a really strong position. I mean, he got a nice raid on Hells, but just a few too many, where's the ox cart here? Just a few too many careless Villy deaths. And this is really nice too by Hells. You see what he did here is he's walling up Mor's access to this side, and Mor is going to probably lose all these Villies down here because his army is way out of position. I mean, look at all this. It's just sitting here doing nothing. Like, why? And in the meantime, Mor is losing citizens down here that, again, why are they here? 3 more citizens that are dead just because of carelessness. Because, I mean, why? I mean, okay, so they got walled off here. But I think this wall was already here, and the citizens ran all the way around to get to here. And that when you notice that, you're like, I should do that. Yeah, the Prometheus are like doing nothing. They are literally doing nothing. They're just having a hangout over here, and Mor's grabbing another town, trying to. A little bit of raid, but this will be handled. Like, there's just no reason here. Who says Oranos sucks? Well, Mor does because he lost this this game. But let's see, we got the Murmillo. Yeah, nothing going on here. Yeah, every time Mor loses to an Odin, it's because Odin's overpowered. My argument is time. It takes time to prove that. And we do have Mor is up. Age 3 with Thea. I feel like Hyperion is a better choice, though. Because Hell should have the throwing axeman up, or be getting it. Yes, he is. He's also aging up Scotty. So these throwing axemen will be able to deal with these birds, because you got just 2 birds against all these throwing axemen. And the throwing axemen will soon have the Axe of Muspel technology. As soon as it's up, you'll notice, because the bird's HP will really start getting chunked. It's not up yet. Not up yet. Come on, where is it? I don't think it's up. No, not up yet. But even without it, he's still killing that. Now it came in just at the end. But I mean, he's still killing it anyway. Like, if Mor sends this army down here with his birds, it can be something completely different. But again, you kind of have the question is, what value, when you start just thinking strategically, what value is Mor getting out of this push here? Like, if Mor were to combine all of his units in one spot, he would probably have the military advantage. But why here? Like, he's killing a couple longhouses. It doesn't really matter. He's killing a couple houses. It doesn't really matter either. Whereas he could be pushing somewhere so much more important, rather than killing 40 wood houses that can just be quickly rebuilt. And we do see Hells will be trying to age up to... Yeah, he's going to be going up for that quick... the mythic. Canada. The Canada flag is cool. Red and white, if that's your colors. I guess that's kind of colors of the Murmillo as well. So, okay, so we're having some solidification. Mor is getting his building upgrades. Is that almost full pop again? But again, this push here, just killing houses. Why? He needs, because he has to realize at this point that what Hells is doing. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Hells really isn't attacking anywhere. He's just playing defensive, just kind of delaying. I mean, you have to know that another Villy getting killed. Oh, and maybe another one too. But he has to know that the Ragnarok is coming. And so killing houses, like, what does it matter? I mean, Regg's gonna get him overpopped anyway. Well, you know, no big deal. This Dryad will really punk it. It's not a leaf. It's a leaf for you. It's not a flower. Oh man. Yes, it is a maple leaf. Okay. But imagine if this pressure, I mean, he hasn't even forced Frost, which is kind of a big deal. Because what Hells can do is when he does Reg, is he can attack one place, force the army to defend, use Frost, and then just kill the buildings or the army during Frost. And then, just Frost plus Reg is so strong. Eco upgrades. Why does he need more? Does he have a temple? He does. So here goes Balder. It'll get also super strong. Oh man, we've got Frost Giants. More Frost Giants. I think Hells is maybe waiting to get another Frost Giant. Okay, now Reg is out. Nope, not going to get the Frost Giant in time. So Hells going for the speed is of the essence here before Mor can kind of build up. And one thing I'm noticing for Mor is that he could find himself gold blocked. Let's take a look at the Vil count for this. So Hells has a 55 Vil Reg. So that's not much, but is Mor ready. He's got just one building upgrade, the fortified town center. Doesn't have masons. Getting watchtowers. He has just one tower up. But he's going to get himself gold blocked. And I don't think Mor is going to be able to win this. Because he's building all up on this gold mine that has 600 gold left. And his other gold mine is here, here, obviously not getting those two, and then here, which is walled off. So now we have a Frost, which is going to get in all these units, and that's going to be the town center dead in the meantime. And then Mor's gold blocked. So Mor at full pop only has 23 gold. This kind of, oh, this Billy here only has 1 H point. One swat and is down. Also doesn't have masons, which is incredibly important. Masons is huge against hack damage dealing units. This Billy with 1 HP is still living. And yeah, that's, Mor's just going to be gold blocked. I mean, he just can't win a fight. And he can't replenish. Here comes Masons. Too late. Your town center is dead, bro. Now the citizens die, and that is going to be it. And then you've got all these. As soon as the citizens come out, they get frozen again. Though it didn't quite work. I wonder why. Interesting. So if you freeze them when they're transitioning out of frost, they don't get frozen. I guess you have to wait a second. But that's going to be it for this game. Unless Mor can find a gold mine somewhere that none of us see. $135 pop to 113. And the sad thing is, like, Mor, just a little bit more care with his units early would have been in a spot to defend this. Yes, he could have just given this side up. That's okay. But he needed to have access to this gold mine. So what he Mor needed to do was, you know, be able to fall back from here, delay, and then just build up on this side. Like, actually, yeah, you know, you're right, Azazel. I mean, it's easy to watch the game and be like, you know, he shouldn't have lost this and that and the other. But really, those losses, while Hells did a good job to catch them, are really losses that are more of just user error kind of a deal than like any like certain, you know, well done by Hells for catching it, but poorly done by Mor for losing those Vils. Post-game interview. And yeah, Mor is again just like last game resisting, and so he now is on that gold mine, but is just a little bit too far behind. Hells is rebuilding his eco. Got to go. Hey, we don't know, man. We still got potentially 2 more games in this series, big guy. Now, then we also asked the question: is how is Mor really gonna kill the fire giant? He does have 2 birds here, but the fire giant should be able to clean them out. And Hells will come forward now with kind of his last big push. Needs to kill this, which I think he will be able to, courtesy of all the myth units he's got here. Yeah, these fire giants just... Phew. And we're getting another bird getting whacked down, another one. Oh, here's the 4th one. And that is it, GG. So Hells, after dropping the first game in the Oranos mirror, is now up 2-1 in this. And we will get our little scorecard updated. Get our Odin up, and get our Oranos up, and get our win for Hells. Waging psychological warfare by not GGing on time. Yeah, that's kind of... Veteran Paulo with the follow, and we did have 2... I guess this is... Why isn't he GG? Asked, is this 2 people? We've got Hofnetter, Jamus / Garcia, Sarah, and Alexander. That's a lot of people on one YouTube account. I like it. But anyway, so Hells is up now 2-1. Hells at the 9th seed. Is he looking to upset the 8th seed? Who's moving in with Chrono? You or your mom? Anyway. Oh, dang it. I gotta get this next game reloaded up here. Okay. Game number 4. Let's get it in my thing here. More Hells. Game number 4. All right. Here, what's happening? It's the intermission, man, while I'm pulling up and getting ready for game number 4. And finishing off my smoothie to keep me healthy, lean, and mean. That's what these smoothies do. But let's move on to game number 4. Appreciate all you tuning in. A few of you following. I did notice, by the way, guys, the other day I noticed that I actually was over 1,000 followers. I mean, shoot, I can't wait to tell my wife this. She'll definitely give me some for that. Yeah. Without spoilers, you'll say this next game is a massacre. I will assume that Mor massacres Hells. On game number 4, which I think is Tundra? Oranos v Odin? Yes, on Tundra. Kind of a similar... Well, no. Not similar at all. Hold on. This is... We're looking at HellsRavage up here in the top right as the Odin player. He's moving his goats over, I think, to get him in on a great hunt. And we've got Mor down in the left, bottom left, as Atlantean / Oranos again. Wait, I'm actually... I am very lean, actually. Some would refer, or most would say skinny. I don't know, what weight... Do you go by the libs or pounds, or do you go with the kilograms, or whatever they do use it in the rest of the normal world? It's an email for... Okay, that's huge. It's like the longest name I've ever seen pop up in the chat. I like it. So, Tundra will be more favorable for Odin because it's more of an open map. Still does have a lot of hunt as well. And we did see, I think, was the Great Hunt just used on all these goats, or did he get combined with a few animals? I think it was just goats, maybe. Maybe he got a couple. Let's compare. Yeah, so he used Great Hunt on this and his goats. That's pretty standard. So we'll probably see, again, pretty similar to what we saw last game as far as gameplay. Will be the Odin, Oranos. You think low hunt games are more entertaining? Well, to each their own. I like high hunt map watching them better. Yes, kilograms. That is what most people... I don't know what it is in kilograms. Use it on both. Okay, that's what I thought. The libs. That's what it is. You abbreviate it LB. Libs. So you can do the math. I'm pretty skinny. 145 pounds. I don't know what that translates into in the kilograms. But it's pretty skinny. I'm a skinny dude. Kind of runs in the family. Odin is awesome. Yes, Odin is awesome. And Odin is good for a boom. Well, against good players, booming straight up in 1v1 is pretty tough as Odin, because they'll catch you out ahead of time, and then you won't ever be able to get map to, kind of feed your boom. But yeah, Odin is good on high hunt, obviously. Odin gives that 20% advantage to hunting. The AOM Girl tourney, you will announce this tourney soon. Yeah, so, Airtrees, I kind of wonder. High hunt over low hunt over water. I do like high hunt. I think it's more fun. But again, it's all opinion. Yeah, no, the American system is so confusing and stupid. I don't know why it's used, but you know what? I guess they had to be different. So, if we're better than the old world, let's make a new system that isn't very easy to use. I do some recipes. I cook a little bit, give breaks to the wife, and sometimes trying to chop up the recipes into tablespoons and all that nonsense. It can be a little, okay, so I have to use 1 teaspoon, 2 tablespoons, and 1/4 of a cup to get what I need in this recipe, and that's just stupid. But it's the way it is. Yeah, booming is more normal for team games. You're right. Because the maps are bigger. 1v1, you really can't get away with it against good players. Bad players, you can. Water maps are the most fun. Okay. So, Airtrees, I have to ask, because this happens every time, why in the world is it that every time you chat online on the Twitch chat, it's about women? Like, why? I don't understand it. Is the Imperial system from the old world? Geez, I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean, but whatever. I'm here to stream Age of Mythology, not talk about the Imperial system, the old world, the new world, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, about this game, 53% aged up. Mor is 430. Yeah, about 430. Odin Fast Heroic, yes, was very fun. I used to do that too when I was Odin. You do your quick, 6:30, 7-minute advance. And it's fun. But did Odin get buffed? Not really. Not in this matchup. A little bit, but not to the extent that people are kind of crying at. It's crazy. Really, the main thing is in this matchup are just the Raven spawn earlier. That's really the main thing. But Odin overall, Odin's buffed. But for this matchup, a little bit. Having the Axe of Muspel in our classical age is good, and all the other gods most of the other gods got knocked down a bit, which helps. I mean, if one gets subtraction, everything else gets addition, so it helps for sure. And Shockwave is down like a second. As well. But anyway, about the game. So it is pretty simple. What are we doing? Oh, barracks, counter barracks. Okay. Mor does have this back, not really, back Aurochs over here. He will probably transition to or attempt to. Again, it's kind of a repeat performance of the previous game. So far, Mor has shown that he is unable to solve the puzzle that is HellsRavage's Odin. Maybe in between games 3 and 4, Mor had an epiphany, which has allowed him to understand how to win. Got the Valk roaming around down here. Now the Villy's on the Aurochs. Mor will probably want to put a Manor over here. Hells is probably waiting to get his Lone Wanderer tech, or does he have it already? No, he doesn't. Not even getting it, or medium. I've noticed that in both the first games is that Hells is waiting really until he gets medium and Lone Wanderer to start doing things, which looks like kind of the same thing. Look how slow they run without it. What is he waiting for? Now he's just getting it. Lone Wanderer. Getting into his town center. Why in the world are you getting it in your town center? Answer me that. Here I am looking forward to be in one of the barracks, and you're getting it in your town center. Valk running around, getting in. Okay, here comes the manor that again Mor likes to build with like multiple vills because he forgets about it or something. Okay, here comes some Ulfsarks in as well. Be able to get in and around these tournament. Somebody's calling me, but I'm busy. They can wait. Alright, Lone Wanderer, medium. Okay, might see a forest fire. Yep, there's a forest fire. Opens up the base quite a bit. You wanted units, but your one barracks was idle. Oh, that's probably the guy I told to call me back. He can wait. I'm doing more important things. Besides, the way Hells is talking in here, he makes it seem like he's going to win this game in like 2 minutes or something. We shall see. One thing, he still has the goats to fall back on, but we'll kind of be out of hunt access in a little bit. This tree line is a little bit unfortunate too for Mor, because it's kind of blocking him from that town center. But, uh-oh! Watch out for this guy. Well, there's enough of an army here, so no big deal. Alright, so Mor's is going to go up to this up here. And here it is. Okay, manor right on that town center. So far, no pressure in on Hells, who's building this wall. Nice to build walls, kind of protect your eco. Would like to see maybe just, you know, get this guy a little bit closer to his hunt, but that's okay. Trying to get a raid here. Ulfsarks get just away. 495 to 528. What relic do we have? Okay, Kopesha Horus, and plus 40% Villi hit points. This is actually a very good relic. You get this relic as Atlanteans, holy cow, your citizens live forever. Trying to get a raid in. Again, we have some Villis getting pretty far forward without a... And a couple of them are really low HP. Oh, Hells, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. There we go. A little bit late, and... Ooh, look at this Villi. Oh, the shockwave to save the Villi. Okay, okay. Might want to fight over here. Yeah, there you go. And oh, still might get in on this Villi though. Yeah, he's still going to. There we go. There he goes. Alright, watch out, watch out. Get out of here. Okay, now you run. You've kind of done your damage. Some relics suck and some are super epic. Yeah, that's just kind of the way it is. The balance patch hasn't ever really touched that. It's... You could. I mean, it would be very incredibly easy to add new relics, but... Is there any particular reason why we're not seeing much Egypt? You can ask Joe in chat. The kind of the common conception is now is that Egypt is underpowered. Well, this is some bad pathing here by Mor. Why don't you just go run next time? Just run right, actually through the units. But yeah, that was a bad unit positioning there. And now his Ulfsarks are getting around the terminal. No, they're not. Missed the days of people only playing set in tournaments. Yes. I mean that's a conversation that you can get in for an extended period of time. I feel like Egyptians are still decent. I think they're in a good spot. But it's, you know, that is my opinion. I mean, as it is, we've got still some Egypt players in the tournament, and we'll see kind of how they do, where they go. But yeah, as compared to the past, there's not nearly as many as there used to be. Which is probably healthy. I mean, the last several tournaments have just been Egypt in the last, except for player Zeus, and very repetitive. In fact, if it was going to head that way in this tournament, there was some considerable consideration going into it in regards to potentially, because of that, not allowing repeat gods, but we felt with the maps the way they are and the way the patches have gone that wasn't needed for the tournament. So far, it's proved to be pretty well. But he's getting this town center as Hells, and it looks like he will get it. He'll have to fight this before he gets it up, though. I don't know. Okay. Hells should fight this. Okay, here comes some more ults. He's got a few raiding ones in the back. And I think Hells is kind of waiting for a surround here on this fight. Once these ults come in, I think we'll see him turn around and fight. And now he is fighting. Mor, I don't believe, has Shockwave yet. No, he doesn't. And now you've got your Terma in a spot that you don't want them in, which is in between two armies. Now we can see he's trying to retreat and they can't get out, and this is just some awful pathing by the Mor, and really good military movement by Hells here, and he is just cleaning this fight up courtesy of that military management. And wow, that ended up so good for, I mean, started out poorly for Hells, but Mor just stayed just a little bit too long and paid for it pretty significantly. As soon as he saw this army coming in, he needed to run. I mean, because initially it started out really well for Mors. I keep calling him Mors. I think it's because it's Hells and Mors. It's Hells and Mor. But yeah, it started out well for Mor, but Mor went in a little too far. Hells got some... Yeah, Hells definitely did bait him there. Kind of kept falling back and falling back and falling back, and then this additional group came in and then was out of position. And we've got a raid on the gold here. Mor's got to repeat and come back. And unlike the other games, or last game, Hells was actually, you know, by score a little bit behind at this point. At this point he's ahead and getting us surrounded on 2 citizens. And you're welcome for the answer, Mateo. And oh, come on, you just let that one village just kind of slide right through. Oh, well, one vill's going to get away. That's not the end of the world, though. Kills the other. Do I think the pack changes matter that much in terms of a god? Yes, it does. They do matter. When it comes to top-level play, minor changes can actually change a lot. Like, on paper, you might look at something that's like, Ra's Reign is now, you know, approximately 10% worse, and be like, well, that's not that big of a deal, but it actually is. Stuff like that does actually change quite a bit. At the lower levels, not so much, because generally most games one loss at the lower levels are just due to whoever played not worst. Upper levels, when, you know, most players are playing as good as they can. Here's Hell's got to be careful with his army now. They're a little bit surrounded. Not a good position here, but with the speedy Olsarks should be able to run without getting too much damage, but well, getting a few more ults. And here comes Frost. We might see Frost here, actually. And we won't see it at all, because Mor just hits the resign button. And that is the series. So Hell shows that he is severely outskilled by Mor, because when they play skilled gods like Oranos, Hells loses. And then when Hells changes to the crutch, wins 3 in a row. So if anything, this proves that Mor is better than Hells, and Hells just gets lucky with the usage of the Odin. But obviously that is sarcasm, if you are not getting it. But that was really good, well played by Hells. I will say the one bad thing about recorded games, and I try not to get into it, but it's so easy. It's very easy to pick out what players do wrong, and I try not to do that, but it's just so easy. And obviously we can look at this and be like, yeah, Mor did this wrong, Mor did that wrong, Mor did that wrong. But on that same token, Hell's played this really well too. A lot of really good army splits. The management of his military here was super solid, to the point where he was running his one army. He kind of split his army up in 3 groups. If you kind of go back to this fight, and the one ran this way and stopped here, the other stopped here, then the other came in, and then all of these Terma that work well in range ended up getting caught right here, and it was just, that was it. That fight just was the beginning of the end there. But Odin OP, it is good to see more Norse. You're right, it's good to see. And actually, when we did the god matchup, or not the god matchups, in The round of 16, it was kind of split evenly amongst all four cultures, the number of gods that were represented by the players. It was like 4, 4, and 4 and 3, something like that. And in the round of 8, which I won't spoil for everybody because a lot of the viewers are YouTube and don't know all the results, again, it's going to be pretty similar god parity, which is cool to see that in the tournament. Really is awesome. But well played by Hells here, and let's yep, we got his thing up in here. Hello, Slavisa. Good to have you at the very end, because I am going to end the stream now. And we can see behind an economy, which is okay, because he is doing more damage and aging up faster. So that's good. So we've got Hell's, the big score jump here, and then, whatever, that doesn't really matter. But well played by Hells. We can finish off the stream by jumping to our final game update here. And yes, we've got 4 Oranos in a row for Mor. Wins the first one, loses the last 3. And we have HellsRavage advancing to the round of 8. And Mor Champion is done. Out of the tournament. Hells continues to the round of 8, which I will remind, the round of 8 is when with the round of 8, everybody's guaranteed a portion of the prize pool. With the round of 8 also starts the double elimination part of the tournament. So in the round of 8, every player can lose once and still be in. So we'll see how that goes. We'll kind of evaluate how that will be after the tournament. So we'll see. I think it'll be good to do it like that. But I guess we'll get with the players after the tournament and see, do they prefer this? Do they like the just straight up single elimination the whole way through? We'll find out. Let's take a look at the chat and see. I went over that question. AE has been dominant for so long. Yes, they have. Good to see more Norse. It is good to see Norse. I mean, I say it that in the history of Age of Mythology, at least as long as I can remember, which is from 2004, Norse has not won tournaments. There might have been maybe 1 or 2 outliers, but yeah, Norse has historically kind of been a punching bag. Nice to see them being used. We'll see if they'll win this tournament. Who knows? We'll find out. We still got a few weeks to go yet in the tournament. A lot of good players left to show off what they got. Do I think it's better for my skill to stick to one god and master it, or diversify and learn several gods? That's a good question. Because to some extent, in order to reach full potential with one god, you have to understand other gods' weaknesses and how your god can exploit that. But on the other hand, if you keep playing different gods, you never get to the point where you're really at home with one. So in my opinion, I think it's best to get good with one and then start opening it up and playing others, and then you can kind of use now your additional knowledge that you get from playing the other gods that kind of build up on your knowledge that you have of the one guy that you're really good at. But it's hard for me to say. I only ever played Ra at a top level, and I never played other gods, so who knows, maybe if I would have been a little bit better. But a lot of that too it takes time to be able to play all these different gods as well. And in this day, I mean, dude, there are really a lot of players that have the time, 16 years into Age of Mythology to do that. It takes time. It's better to play more gods, especially in a tournament like this where you know the maps ahead of time, so you can kind of pick the best god for different maps. So it helps in like a tournament like this. But yeah, that's what I say. Best to get good with one, open it up after that, get a little bit more well-rounded, which should help your skill with that one. But anyway, that is the stream for today. So I thank everybody for watching. It's a good crowd for the middle of the afternoon. Normally I stream at night, so it wasn't quite my normal crowd, but good to see some new faces in. I will put in here, a little self-advertisement. do have a YouTube channel that has a lot of old recorded games and casts and stuff, so feel free to check that out. And we do have some more round of 8 matches this weekend. I'm not going to get into them a whole lot because there might be people watching this later on YouTube that don't want to be spoiled. But if you're interested, there are some more games this weekend if you want to watch live. I will hopefully be casting a game live Sunday at 20 GMT. Hopefully casting a match live. It'll actually be Hells. Will be one of the players in that matchup. So looking forward to that. That should be fun. And I'll also intending to be on tomorrow, being Saturday. Saturday evening, which would actually be Sunday morning for a lot of Europe players. So more like Sunday at 300 GMT. I intend to be around. And Cam, it's now 3:30, which means Cam can come out of bed from his nap. I'm done just in time. So we're gonna turn it off. No, we've got to get ready for Cam's got a birthday party tomorrow. No. He cares nothing about that. It's your birthday party. Shouldn't you help get ready too?
No, that's boring.
That's boring. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you all later, and we'll have a good time. I hope you all have a good weekend. Can you say bye? Oh, we're going to have a pouting boy over here. Fatherhood is great. I tell you what, if you want to have a great time, have some kids. It's awesome. That's it for today. Bye, everybody.